There are some mixed signals in America's housing market today. So new home sales came in stronger than expected in June, climbing 1.6% to an annualized pace of 628,000 homes. But at the same time, pending sales of existing homes have fallen to a 3-month low as mortgage rates climb back up to around 6.6% and home prices remain near record highs. Joining us now is Suzanne Porsky, founder of Phoenix Financial Group. Suzanne, welcome back. So conflicting trends here. New home sales beat expectations. Pending sales of existing homes slowed. What does that tell us about the health of the housing market?
First of all, that whole report's June, and I remember June as being much more optimistic than July. So all that was happening in June, and that's where the numbers are coming from. And then we look at reality. We went back into some unrest, geopolitical tension, things are pending. I know that the market isn't all at loss. I mean, we're not back in 2008 by any means, but I know people are just very cautious right now. And I know from my perspective and my clients across my conference table, where we were having those conversations because things looked like it was changing, like we were going in the right direction with the tensions in the Middle East, we start getting hopeful and doing plans. And then all of a sudden the conversation shifted as the tension grew back. So now they're kind of sitting there going, do I really want to make this purchase right now? What is the forecast for the future? And I think that's what you're seeing reflected in these reports numbers.
Yeah, I can imagine the hesitation also comes from mortgage rates hovering around 6.6%. That's an 11-month high around there. So affordability is still a major concern as well. So do you think buyers, what should they do? Wait for rates to come down or what? What's your recommendation?
So that's where we have the conversation, depending on their age. Truthfully, I remember when I bought my first house, I wanted to go from the house I grew up in to a house, to something similar. And then I had the reality of I need to go where my paycheck can pay, where I can be comfortable. And so I went on the bottom. I went and got that starter house. I got that single family house and then sold it, got a little equity and started moving up. And I think we stepped away from all of that for a little bit, especially around the pandemic when the houses were flying, things were really moving. We're going back to that conversation. The other conversation I'm having at my conference table is these new widows that go, I don't want this huge house anymore. I've just lost my spouse, whether it's a female or male. This was our place, but I don't want it by myself anymore. So now what do? I want to sell it. And then, as you just said on the reports, that number is coming down. We were at about average 417 is a median price. We're at 386 this week as an average median price. So I tell people, fall in love with the house, like get reality, get a realization that you may have to buy smaller and then worry about refinancing if that's what you need to do for that interest rate later. But I don't know, Alicia. I watch these people wait and then the prices go back up. So if the prices go up and the interest rates come down, you're just constantly juggling. Go ahead and live your life.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get that purchase, get that investment. And then let's talk about refinancing when they go down.
Right. It's never going to feel like the right time. You just got to do it. Do it and make it work. You also pointed to the proposed Road to Housing Act. I think we talked about this last time too. Potential long-term solution, increasing the housing supply so that you can help lower the cost for families. So if that does go through, if it does pass, how long might it actually take before Americans feel the impact?
Well, and I go back to like the grocery store. If there's a lot of items, you'll see them. People, they're lower. The cost is lower on it. The less inventory, then the more expensive things get. So we need to flood. We've not had enough homes for a very, very long time. I think we'll probably see it in about 12 months. It did pass. It didn't pass with his signature. He let it sit there until it had to be passed. So now we should start seeing that bill was really, really important. It's really cutting all the red tape on so many areas of construction. It really is boosting that smaller entry level home sales up. Even I want to say it's even with well, they're not mobile homes, but that pre-constructed homes, they're inside of that bill with some of that. I love the most important part of it was it is really cutting off the large companies going in and buying a neighborhood and then depicting who's going to move in and all that. They took all that away.
Right. Okay. So the Road to Housing Act did become law on July 11th. Trump didn't sign it and just automatically became law. So what are you looking at? Years here?
I
Months?
think I think 12 months. I think that's fair. You know, again, I'm in the middle of the United States where there's a lot of land, and I now see people in the conversations going and the construction companies going, "Oh, wow, this has loosened up some red tape for us. Let's start looking at that land." They're still
Mhm.
cautious. Everybody's cautious. We're in some really uncertain times still,
Right.
and but they're moving forward. And I think as soon as we get more inventory, that's going to also help on so many levels. And then the geopolitical tension, that is that interest rate. But on the flip side of that, I'm dealing with the baby boomers who, for the first time in a long time, are able to look at those treasury notes and go, hey, and CDs at banks, hey, maybe this is an area I can start going back into for investments because of the rate. So
Yeah.
there's that give and take on all of it. But just for the housing market, I tell them, go look for a house. You're not going to be able to go buy what you could
Right.
during the pandemic, but
Yeah.
at least invest in it.
Hopefully the interest rates come down soon. Suzanne Porske,
Yeah.
founder of Phoenix Financial, thank you so much for your insight.
All right. Thanks, Alicia.
You got it.